Good morning, Success Academy. This is Mrs. DeVries with your Monday morning announcements. Today is September 23rd, and today is an A Day. Some of you are confused about when fall break begins. So fall break will begin next week. So it is September 30th through October 4th. We will be back to school on Monday, October 7th. So we really need to focus for the next 5 days. I need you to hunker down, get working, ask your questions because we have 5 more days and then you get a full week to take a break. With that, unit tests are starting. I'm gonna move my little camera down a little bit. There we go. Unit tests are starting. So your units are wrapping up. And I just wanted to remind you about our grade calculations. Our formative assignments are 20% of your overall grade, while the summative assignments are 80% of your overall grade. So formative assignments include your class assignments, homework, IXLs, small quizzes, anything that is a learning check. A summative is going to be the big test that is going to be over all of your learning. So those can be tests or exams. It could be a big project. It could be an essay or even like a lab report. Anything that is a big assignment is going to be a summative. And I am a visual learner. So I need to see things so it can really make sense in my head. So what I'm going to show you the next couple of slides, examples of an overall grade calculation and why your summative assignments are so important. So the first example is a student who did all of their class assignments, all of their formatives, got 10s out of 10 on everything. So 20% of their overall grade is 100%. But then they get to that summative, either their test or their essay, and they do not do so well. They get a 50%. Your overall grade will be a 60% D because that summative is weighed so heavily. It brings that 100% down because the summative is worth so much. So let's look at a different example. This student doesn't like doing their in-class assignments. They do about half of them, or they do an assignment and only finish half of it. So their overall formative grade is a 50%. So 20% of their overall grade is a 50. But then they come to that test or they come to that unit essay and they get an A on it. They get a 90. So their grade jumps from a 50 all the way to an 82B because that summative grade is worth so much. So 80% of their overall grade is a 90. So they jumped from a 50 all the way to an 82 just because they did so well on that summative. Let's look at a different example. So this student does pretty well on their formatives. They have an A, 90% on their formative assignments. So they get 10s or 9s, averaging a 90. Then they come to their unit test or their project or their essay and get a 70. So a 70C. So because their grade is a 70 for their summative, it drops that grade from a 90 down to a 74. So that summative grade had such a big effect that it dropped their A down to a 74 because they're 70% summative. Let's look at one more. Let's say this student gets 9 out of 10 on all of their class homework. They're doing great with their in-class assignments, their IXLs. They have an A in their formative category. They decide they don't want to do their summative. They don't take their test. They don't turn in their essay. They don't turn in their project. And you have a 0, a missing in the summative category. You are now at an 18% F. Those summative assignments are worth so much of your overall grade that if you do not do a summative, if you have a missing, if you don't turn it in, your grade will plummet. So I really need you to make sure you know when your summative assignments are you try your best on them and you turn them in, because you see from these examples your summative assignments really affect your overall grade. So that's my PSA about grade calculations. And I know Miss Moon's probably rolling her eyes at me because I used a website to calculate this when you can calculate it on your own. So middle school students, Q1 is ending on October 18th. So that's only 10 days after we get back from fall break. And once Q1 ends, all those grades are posted and finalized and they are frozen. We cannot go back and edit them. So I really need you to really focus on getting all of your formatives and summatives turned in by October 18th in all of your classes, because Q1 is ending. My weekly announcement about ACT testing, 12th graders, your free ACT test will be Friday, October 18th. You have a sign-up sheet from Miss Day or Miss Brewer. Really am pushing for you to do this. So please ask them if you have any questions about ACT. And finally, because I won't see some of you or talk to you before fall break, I hope you relax, enjoy the lower temperatures. It's supposed to actually be fall soon. Use this time to catch up on your assignments. My credit recovery kids, try to crank some of that out. Read a good book and do something fun. So I hope you have a great break. I hope you have a great week, and I will see you when we come back. Bye, guys.